Welcome back. This is day 2. I'm going to be going over trends, uptrend, downtrend, and we're going to also go over break of structure and change in state of delivery. Okay, let's get right into it. All right, so in the market, there are 3 ways that the market can move, okay? 1, uptrend, where you see price making up, okay? This is consisting of higher highs and higher lows, you can see right here, okay? Second way that price can move is a downtrend, which is lower highs and lower lows. Very simple. Third is what we call consolidation, where price doesn't do anything, okay? It's just no movement, okay? We want to trade in either these uptrends or these downtrends. So let's take a look at how we can analyze and verify what we are in. Okay. So we're going to take a snapshot of this right here, starting from this point right here. So if we analyze the chart right now, in this section right here, we see that price is kind of just zigzagging, right? There's no clear direction on whether or not it wants to go up and down, right? Now we get this little breakthrough right here, right, as you can see, and this is what we call an uptrend, right? If we take our little tool, we can see that price comes up, makes this high, makes this low, makes a higher high, makes a higher low, higher high. You get the gist of it, right? Okay, so this, we have our uptrend. Great. Now we can see this right here is a downtrend. Okay, so we're starting right here. We make a lower low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then we come back into an uptrend again. Okay. Perfect. Let me just grab a random place. Okay. So from right here to right here, what are we in? If you said uptrend, great. Okay, super easy. Got it. We're moving on. So now, in these uptrends and downtrends, there are things that are called a break of structure. Okay, a break of structure is formed in uptrends and downtrends. Okay, let's take a look at right here. What is a break of structure? A break of structure is when price breaks above a high or a low. Okay, very simple. So this right here at the high, we see price right here breaks through. This is what we call a break of structure. Okay, it's breaking the structure. Okay, this right here is also a break of structure. This right here is also a break of structure. Okay, same thing in a downtrend. When it breaks the low, we get our break of structure right here, and we get our break of structure right here. Okay, great. Very simple and easy. These are break of structures. When you see price coming up past this high and you see that price keeps going up, that's when you know that price is going to continue higher, and that could be your confluence to enter a trade or things like that. Okay, let's take a look on the charts how we can identify this break of structure. Okay, so we're on the 5-minute, and now we're going to be looking for a break of structure. Let's draw out the line so you can see. Here is our line. As you can see, higher highs, higher lows. You can see like the wicks are the highs and so on. So when you're looking for a break of structure, we see that price comes up. We see this up. We get this down, and now we're getting this up again. And you can see right here at this high, we get what's called our break of structure, right? Price is coming past this high. Okay, right here is another high. There we go, another break of structure. Okay, right here, another high, another break of structure. If you look on a higher time frame as well, let's say we're on now like the 15-minute, and we're seeing right here, we get higher high, higher low, higher high. This could be like your break of structure, right? So price is always fractal. Any single little, even on the 15-second, you'll see that price reacts the same every time. Okay, like let's say we do it on here. Let's do a downtrend example. Okay, 15-second, maybe not the best. idea. But okay, we get one right here. We have our lower lows and lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And we see here when price breaks the structure, we get our break of structure. When price breaks the structure, we get another break of structure. Okay. Now I want you to pause this video. I want you to go on your chart, find a few examples of break of structures. If you're confused, you can always go into the questions chat, paste in, your screenshot of your trading view, and ask someone if this is the right break of structure, and someone can help you out. Okay. Now, what is an example of, let's say, like a failed break of structure? Okay. Not every time you have a break of structure will it be a break of structure. So let's say we're in a consolidation mode. Where's the break of structure? We don't really have one because we get price to break the high, but we pretty much come back down. So there's no break of structure there. Price kind of comes back into the range, which is why we do not want to be trading in accumulation consolidation zone, right? We want to be trading in the uptrends or the downtrends. Great. Now we're going to go over a change in state of delivery. This is basically like a break of structure. However, this is the point in time where price shifts from an uptrend to a downtrend and vice versa. So let's say we have this right here. So we get our little break of structures like this, right? We're in an uptrend, we're getting our break of structures, and we're getting our break of structures. And now when we're going from this uptrend into this downtrend, the change in state of delivery is where price breaks a low and continues lower. So this right here is what we would call a change in state of delivery because we're going from an uptrend to a downtrend. So you can see here, if price were to be continuing uptrend, price wouldn't come lower here. Price would come at least around here and would never come to touch this low. It would just continue higher. Okay, so this is why this right here is what we call a change in state of delivery. The same example goes over here where if we have this right here, we're in a downtrend, and then we switch to an uptrend. Okay, break of structures again is when we have price breaking the structure past the lower high. Okay, so these are break of structures, these are break of structures. Now when price comes up and we see that price breaks a high or low, in this case, if it's a bullish change in state of delivery, we want it to break past the high. We have this high right here that gets broken right here. As you can see, we get our change in state of delivery. Price comes down and price then breaks past this high, which would then become a break of structure. And that's when you know that we change from a bearish to a bullish. Okay, let's take a look at a few examples on the chart again. Okay, here is a great example. We see price making a downtrend, right? And then we see price coming up and making an uptrend. Okay, here, break of structures, right? We're breaking structure, we're creating the downtrend with the lower lows and lower highs when we're in a bearish trend, right? Now, this is a high right here, right? We have our high right here, and we have our low right here. If we were to continue going down in a downtrend, we would get a break of structure from here up and down. That would be a break of structure. But because we failed to go lower and we're actually going higher and we break past the most previous high right here, we get what's called a change in state of delivery, and that is when price starts to reverse up. Okay, let's take a look at the opposite side, right? So right here, we are in a uptrend, right? Uptrend, and then we hit a downtrend. Okay, again, these are break of structures. We're breaking past the highs in an uptrend and creating newer highs and newer lows that are higher than previous. Then we get our change in state of delivery right here. Why? Because this is where price broke lower and never made a higher high. Again, this could go on, let's say on the 5 minute, right? On the 5 minute, Let's take this trend right here. On the 5-minute, we have our downtrend, and then we come up and we have this uptrend. This previous high right here beforehand was taken, right? So this is where the change in state of delivery happens, and that's when we see, okay, price is going to go higher rather than lower, and this is when you look for buys, okay? Price is fractal. So any time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, 15 second, 5 second, 1 second, these all occur, okay? So when you align those together, that's when you can find where the market is going to move. Higher time frames have higher power. So a 15-minute change in state of delivery is going to have more power than a 1 minute, just because the lower time frames have a higher chance of faking you out. So definitely always look on the higher time frame when you're starting out. And this is pretty much the end of the video. I want you to go on your chart, find the break of structures, find the higher highs, higher lows, figure out the downtrend, the uptrends, and then figure out change in state of delivery. Find at least 5 break of structures and 5 change in state of deliveries. Find at least 2 uptrends, 2 downtrends, and I'll see you in the next video.